All right, Shalom Elohim, peace be with y'all. Today we're going to be getting into a private lifestyle passport development. I got my buddy Greg here. Everybody say what's up to Greg. Greg, say what's up to everybody.
What's up, everyone?
So ultimately, we're doing this as a private recording, private live, or private live recording. It's not like public out to everybody, but ultimately we have the DS-11. So the DS-11 is ultimately the passport. I will actually go to, I'm going to kind of show you guys this. First and foremost, I'm going to go to my text. Give me one sec. And then we're going to go here. Yeah, okay. So you guys can see this? Greg, can you see this?
Mm-hmm.
All right, bet. So this is not what we're talking about today, but we're going to go to the primary blog. You guys can check out my blog here. I do not, and this is not me selling you anything. All this stuff is free. It's available for you guys. It's what I'm developing just to help people and answer questions for people when I'm not around or when I'm asleep and someone's on the other side of the world. I know plenty of people who are 24 hours or 12 hours ahead of me. And so it plays kind of a weird, tricky role with conversations. I got to always talk to them at 6 a.m. or 6 p.m. or something like that. So this kind of helps that and brings it down to earth. Now, today, and two, I also organize it. So I'm a little bit off right now, so you're not going to see it. But when I post one or two more of these, so when I post two more about, microbiology, because I'm talking about microbiological regeneration, when I post two more, okay, then it will bump over and then you'll see AM, midday, PM ritualistic on the same thing. You'll see Christos, Ruach, and the majestic sandal. You'll see raw milk. You'll see milk and honey. You'll see honey. Then two, you can even see the IUL. You'll see trading and you'll see privatizing your life. You'll see living as a breatharian, holistic health, and liquiditarian. They're all interconnected at a certain way that I wrote it before I decided to make this public. Now, if you guys are interested, you guys can also go here. This is me selling you something. I'm just joking. But you guys can check this out here where all of these different processes are in here, and we're bringing more to it. But today we're going to get into this specific thing, which is privatizing your life. So notice it says the DS-11, and then two, even under it, I put this. This is not what is actually under the passport. This is a AI created picture. So the AI is going to mess up. Okay. So SPC stands for Secured Party Creditor. Now, if you guys are watching this video, you either already sort of know some of this stuff, or you might even be brand new, but I'll simplify it for you guys. Now, today for Greg, we are filling out the DS-11 passport. Okay. The process, when done with intention, is declaring. It's a declaration, like the Declaration of Independence. You are declaring or putting the public on a notice. Some of you guys might understand the terminology that I'm saying. Some of you might not. Now, what you're doing is you're declaring yourself as a national rather than a U.S. citizen. And we are referring to the United States corporation. Now, I'm actually not even going to really go to my blog. Like, you can follow a lot of the stuff. This is a lot of the benefits and stuff like this that I've built. But ultimately, we're going to go to actually someone else's blog that I learned from, and we're going to go directly off of this gentleman. And this is Copper Moonshine Stills. And then to his blog, which is, you can go right here to this hamburger over here, and you can click different types of things. He actually does sell moonshine. So if you guys are interested in sipping some moonshine, this is your dude. Okay. Now we go down here and it says state citizen passport. Now on your passport, it's not going to say you're a state citizen, because we'll get into this. They are actually hiding this from the public. Are you with me? Okay, bet. So I can't see you guys, but I hopefully you guys can hear me and see me. Sometimes I have problems with lives and stuff like this, but ultimately being a state citizen is what we're turning into. Okay. And then two, we're going to have like protected officials, et cetera, et cetera. So we're going to kind of get into this, and we're going to kind of have him explain it to us. You're not going to even have to listen to me. We are going to read it from this guy. Now, the main thing is, look, beat the law with state citizen passport, diplomatic immunity. If you have a question on what diplomatic immunity is, I would seek out the YouTube channel known as High Frequency Radio. which actually is, we'll go based on both blogs. I'll do it one after another. So ultimately, you guys can find this gentleman known as Yusuf L, who built what we know as SPC University. This will be a clickable, accessible thing for you to join SPC University as my type of, under as an affiliate. I'll probably get Greg and a multitude of other people who are also doing this process too, so you guys can get paid, because people are going to ask you, and you don't always have to give everybody the answer because all the answers are already out there. But you can direct them and speed up that and be paid, because time is valuable. Okay. Not time is money. Time is more valuable than money. But let's get into it, guys. So I would definitely check out USFL on High Frequency Radio. Also today, I'm going to try to stay as extremely on topic. Okay. I have been known to follow people who get off topic and myself, and I'm trying to stay just on topic immediately, which is why I'm going by the script. So diplomatic immunity, seek out USFL High Frequency Radio on YouTube and find out what diplomatic immunity actually is. Okay. Now let's kind of go into this. We're not going to get into all of this, but I will kind of graze and skim it. Okay. Now I could get into some of this stuff, maybe for 5 minutes, and then we'll just get directly into the passport. And if you guys don't know it, go over some of my other videos where I kind of go break this down into the blog, break it down in my blog, etc. So we are explaining when you got your social security number. So you have your birth certificate and your social security number. Your social security number is tied to the trust, the SECU trust, in the birth certificate bond. It is known as a bond. It looks just like a bond. Okay. Even if you look at like your car note, your car title, your car deed, your home deed, you look at any of these titles, they all look like bonds, because that's what they are. They're bonded. They have a signature, they have a seal, they have witnesses, which is a declaration to it's ultimately in the law. Okay. So when you got your social security, either you or your mom or your dad checked off that you are a United States citizen. This is probably not what you think it is. Okay. It means an employee or a 14th Amendment citizen is known as the employee of a corporation known as the United States, not the United States of America. And we'll get into that. Look, so we're going to kind of explain this to you guys. So on the SS5, which is the application to get a social security number, your parents most likely did this, and they said, yes, he's a U.S. citizen. She's a U.S. citizen. And then you continue to claim U.S. citizenship because your parents also said, yeah, claim U.S. citizenship. When you fill out this, you are claiming that you're a U.S. citizen. Like I said, it's not what you think. It doesn't mean that you're not what you would think of as a citizen. When you turn yourself into a national, you actually have more rights. You have more constitutional protected rights. Okay, you're not considered a domicile employee of the U.S. government. What is someone who is domicile? It's somebody who is literally not smart enough to be able to represent themselves in the court of law and to be able to defend themselves because they're too stupid. That's what they think you are. They think you're too stupid to be able to represent yourself in the court of law until you go through their types of things, okay, so this is kind of what I'm saying. Now, and then you continue to claim to be a U.S. citizen throughout your life and did so all on government forms and applications which caused you to pay taxes. That caused you to pay taxes. Notice, get tickets and every other act of treason that has happened to you because you are in your own jurisdiction. They have never taught this. Okay. The U.S. in this case is a federal corporation, the District of Columbia. Okay, so there's a 10-mile radius, a 10-mile circle, and if you look at it and you look at the 10-mile radius, then you'll see a bunch of sacred geometry and stuff. If you guys study this weird stuff, people think it's weird, I'm saying, is you study this weird stuff and you look at and you start to see pentagrams and all these different weird things, and every one of the pillars and buildings are all in symmetrical shape, and all this stuff has everything to do with that. And I've been to the District of Columbia, so it's very interesting. This is also what we know as called the USDC. Have you ever heard of the USDC ever? No, because they don't want you to know about it. But USDC is also known as the United States, all caps letter. It's not United States of America. You are an American. You're natural to America or a national to America. If not, you have to get a naturalization document or a certificate of naturalization. I have friends who can help you guys with that. But an all caps means it's a corporation. Okay, it was created by them, the Congressional Act. So Congress Act of 1871. So way before you were born. Also see 28 USC. So this is US code. That's what USC stands for. So 28th article USC, and then you guys can read deeper into it, 3002, and then that specific 15th. So this would be subsection 15. United States. Notice, even if it has all caps just in the front, that is the same thing as this. To them, that's what they believe. Okay. So when you write something lowercase, that's why I write all my text lowercase. That's why I write all my signatures lowercase. I write all of my things lowercase. The first letter and all of the letters. Okay. So the United States refers or means to, this is what says it in their United States code. So listen to them. They're saying it. The United States means a federal corporation. 15 USC. Okay. 4724 subsection E1. The term United States business is a United States citizen, means a United States citizen. So you're the business, you're a small little franchisee of the giant franchise of this huge federal corporation. So you know Chick-fil-A, there's one original Chick-fil-A. Chick-fil-A is known as a franchise. McDonald's is known as a franchise. Okay? The United States is known as a corporation franchise. And what you are saying is I'm one of those. I'm one of those, and that's why you pay taxes to them, because they own your ass. Okay? They own you until you become non-domicile and you assert your rights. So you only have rights that you assert. Okay? So this is the main thing. So this is what it means. So a U.S. citizen is a business of this federal corporation and not a union state citizen or a union state or USA republic. USA. America is a republic originally, and then the corporation placed on top of it is a democracy. They will not teach you about America, the land, like the Aboriginal indigenous beings. I'm talking about like real Americans, Aboriginal Americans, people who belong to America, people who were born in America. That is a natural republic. Okay, it's naturally a republic. This is why you have something known as a Republican or a Democrat. Holy crap. Don't let it be trigger words for you guys. Okay, don't let it be. I don't vote or any of that because, you can revoke all of that. You can revoke your license plate. You can revoke your insurances. You can revoke any of these, review any of these types of things. Okay, so that's why it's known as a Republican or a Democrat. Now, just for 2 seconds, the Democrats, they are generally connected to something more connected to democracy. They like more government. Republicans like less government. They want to live more closer to the land. And am I saying any one of them are good or bad? No. I'm saying that generally people who tend to go towards the republic are generally people who tend to have that mindset that I'm going to take care of myself. I'm my own sovereign state. I'm in my own jurisdiction. There's levels to this, by the way. So you can not even belong at all. You cannot even you can erase yourself pretty much from the public eye. Okay. The United States Republic. Okay. The United States America Republic. Now, it's easy to see that a U.S. citizen is now what we consider a legal fiction or a fictitious name. Like in a book where they have a fictitious name or a ghostwriter those are all fictitious entities. It's somebody who represents something or is a face of something, so then it can preserve the privacy of the being who's actually operating it. Okay, so the U.S. citizen is a legal fiction, meaning that you don't exist. The only thing that exists is the United States through you. The United States corporation through you has no rights. Has no rights secured by the Constitution. Now, you guys might be pissed off by now, just 2 paragraphs in, but you actually have no rights. It's pretty crazy to think about. What do you think about that?
That's insane.
It's absolutely absurd. So, and it means secured. So you have no rights secured. Only people have rights secured by the Constitution, not legal fictions. So you should have checked off other on the form because you are a U.S. citizen, or I'm sorry, you are not a U.S. citizen. You are a state citizen that of the state that which you were born in. So what does that mean? That means where you at? Where you at, Greg? You're a New Jerseyan.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a Californian. I'm a state citizen. So I belong. And two, there are interconnected things. So if I'm a Californian, that means I can go to any one of the other 50 states because of the republic. That's what it is. It's a union state. It's a state of the union. It's a state where we are unified or in union. So it doesn't mean I can't go nowhere else. It means I'm a Californian. It doesn't mean that I can't go to Texas. Okay. See what I'm saying? Now, this is very important. You guys need to read Article of the Constitution, Article 310, Article 310, and Article 311. Okay. Now, which is referred to in Article 3 in the 11th Amendment of the Constitution, which is the same as citizen of the United States, as penned in Article 1, Article 2 of the Constitution that you were born in, which makes you a citizen of all states if you're a state citizen in one state and one of the people, and a beneficiary of the Republic, USA, Constitution, 1789 and 1791. A state citizen is a citizen of the United States, but not a United States employee or a United States citizen, because I'm a citizen of the United States of America or a state citizen of the United States of America Republic, not the democracy. So it does not lawfully exist. The 14th Amendment fell 2 states short of being ratified. A 14th Amendment citizen is born in the United States, which is a federal territory, and subject means beneath to Congress. It means Congress can do whatever they want with you. This is not the same thing as being born in one of the several states of the Union. The United States of America is the de jure, jury, de jure, de juris, jurisdiction, jurisprudence. The United States of America is de jure republic government. I mean, it is naturally a republic government. America is naturally a republic. Okay, and that's the way that they do genuine government. Not the United States corporate, which is the corporation, or not the preamble to the Constitution establishes the United States of America. Anytime I say United States of America, I'm referring to the land. Anytime I refer to the United States corporation, United States blank, nothing else after it, I'm referring to the democracy. I'm referring to the corporation specifically, not the United States. So we have 2 different and distinct national governments. Whoa, did you just hear that? So there's 2 different national governments. So that's what we're filing today, guys. And 2, if you guys already kind of know this, skip ahead and just do the file with me and Greg. That's what we're going to do. Okay, so look, we talk about jurisprudence right here, constitutional jurisprudence. No higher duty rests upon the court than to exert their full authority to prevent all violations of principles of the Constitution. Okay, this is a case. Look, case. Okay, and once something's asserted in law, it has to either be proven wrong or it stands, and then it can be used to prove more things right. It's all about the way that you file your citizen. It's that simple. So look, see cases. Taxpayers are not de jure state citizens. So if you pay taxes, you are not a state citizen. That's what he's saying. And this is the case. Belmont versus Town of Gulfport, 122 SO 10. United States versus Anthony, 24, Federal 829, 1873. That was the year. The term, resident. So if you say, I'm a resident of this place, or a driver, or a citizen, or an employee, just erase those words if you're taking this process. You're not a driver. You are a traveler. You are not a resident. Okay. You are a traveler. or you are in care of. So I'm not a resident, I'm in care of this public residence. Because care of means that I'm still reserving all of my rights. Citizen, when they use the word citizen, don't say that. Just say I'm a national, or I'm an American, or I'm a Californian, or something. Say it like that. Do not say I'm a citizen. Okay? Because this means United States 14th Amendment citizen, which means employee. It also refers to as enslaving the entire American people based on contractual law. So they're just doing it contractually. They're saying these are people who have rights. Remember, corporations don't have rights until they take rights. And so what they're saying is, well, these living beings have rights to be alive. Let's contractually, like F them over. So then we'll take their rights and we'll put that on the contract that they gave up their rights consensually through this contract. And what you're doing through doing this passport process is the other way around. You're pretty much saying that I am genuinely starting to help myself for the betterment of who I am. Okay, so we're going to keep going. The fourth is distinguished from a citizen of one of the several states. We've already kind of established this. All right, now let's talk about it. This is what you actually are. Okay, you are a state citizen born in one of the several states of the Union, not the United States. See Article 3, the 11th Amendment of the Constitution. A citizen of the United States, as pinned in Article 1 and Article 2 of the Constitution. Notice that when you signed up to vote, it asks if you were a citizen of the United States. This is the only citizen that can vote because it's the only thing voting for the corporation to begin with. You don't need to vote because when you are operating in your own jurisdiction, none of these politricksters matter. None of these types of things matter. You don't pay taxes. You don't need insurance because you can write your own bonds. You can write your own insurance. And a lot of people, I don't want you to shy away from doing this process because this is what you're supposed to know. This is what your grandpa knows, your great-grandpa knows, or your great-great-grandpa knows. And they made sure to not make sure that you know it during that 100 or 200 years of when they were, changing the gold standard in 1933 under Franklin Delano Roosevelt. And then at that point, they signed that and all gold was out of circulation, meaning that you can't show up to Yard House and pay with a brick of gold and say, here's some gold. This pays for my food. Here's some gold. Da, da, da. That's what I'm saying. Okay. And it's not that. So this is what you are not. You are not a United States citizen. So remove all of these words. Look, and then I even see the word franchise citizen right there. You are not a United States citizen, which is a legal fiction, a fictitious name, a ghostwriter. So who's writing for you? The United States Corporation is operating through you. And then they've just bet that you will not ever figure this out. This means that you're a franchise citizen of a federal corporation franchise known as the United States District of Columbia, USDC. This one does not have any constitutional rights. Let me say that again. If you are a citizen of the United States, period, comma, colon, whatever, you do not have any constitutional rights. Notice when you filled out your voter registration, if it did not ask if you were a United States citizen, because a United States citizen cannot vote. You are not a United States national, okay? Which is also a legal fiction. This one also does not have rights. Okay, you are not a 14th Amendment citizen. This is someone who was born in the United States territory of the 10-mile radius of the District of Columbia, because that is, imagine like Chick-fil-A being 10 miles big, like just one big Chick-fil-A for 10 miles, one big place. Okay, so that whole place is where they operate. Okay. Someone born in this United States territory and Congress has authority over you and does not have rights guaranteed by the Constitution. See how it is worded. Born or naturalized in the United States and subject to the jurisdiction thereof are citizens of the United States. You are not a non-citizen national. This wording applies to those born in the unincorporated islands of the United States. And of course, you are not an alien. You are known as a state citizen. Okay, we're going to kind of move down. So look right here, put in care of. So we're going to kind of go to this, put without prejudice. You're going to have to take some of this type of stuff. We're going to do this very slowly, but now we're kind of getting to this. I'm going to bounce over. I'm going to bounce over real quick. and I am going to present stop screen. I'm going to push this to the side, share screen, and I'm going to go directly to this one so then I can actually, you can still see this, yeah? All right, bet. So now I can kind of see Greg. All right, Greg. I know that was a lot of information.
That was amazing.
I know
That was awesome.
I know you can retain it, but present me whatever questions you have. Give yourself like 2 or 3 minutes to like think of a few, because I know you got some, because I still always have some, but like I kind of want to do this hypothetically for the people who do have questions. So like if you could just ask some basic stuff, and then we'll kind of get into the actual passport process.
So you have access to more freedoms during this process, right? Like what are the specific things that I can be able to do? Or how about this? What is the difference, or what freedoms would I be giving up if I don't do this?
You're not giving up any freedom. You've already gave up your freedom. So that's a great question. Great question. So exactly what, like, and a lot of people would say, and a lot of people think it's difficult. A lot of people think it's like a headache and stuff like this. And that's just because what you don't know, you're generally afraid of, and what you're afraid of, you will talk yourself out of because you're used to it. I'm not saying you specifically, but I'm saying for the people, in the, like, I've had a lot of people be like, but why would I want to do this anyways? Why would I? So 2 is you are known as something as a collateral to the United States debt. So the corporation is $37 trillion in debt and going up. But when you say I am a secured party creditor, so that's one of the processes we're taking. This is a very small process, just the passport, but then you're also going to do the secured party creditor process. The secured party creditor process is freaking dope. It's immaculate, bro. You're actually, what you're doing, you're pretty much taking your whole entire power back by doing processes like this. Does it feel free when you pay taxes on things like you're not going to pay state tax, you're not going to pay sales tax, you're not going to, and there's forms in the IRS that prove this, and all you do is file one form. It's known as a W-8, a W-8-BEN, a W-8-ECI. There's different types of forms of this. But ultimately, this pretty much means it's called tax exempt status, or lawful non-taxpayer tax exempt status. That's really what it is. And that is that you don't have to pay sales tax when you go buy your vans. You don't have to pay tax on the stuff that you've already been taxed on. You don't have to pay federal tax, Medicare. You don't have to. And that is our rights. Those are my rights. I don't think that I should have to pay all of my hard-earned time, so some lazy ass can be playing video games just having my money. I think that that's some bullshit, as a matter of fact. And I don't think that everybody agrees with me. And I'm totally fine with you having your own opinion. But I do definitely believe, like, and I'm not saying like if you're down bad or whatever, like I think that, you shouldn't be down bad, or that you should be down bad. I'm not wishing hell upon people or terrible or horrible situations on people. But I do believe that I live from an I am presence, first person, first player type of mindset. And I think that this is the type of process that really initiates that and asserts your rights. So what you're doing with this passport is pretty much, so say you get pulled over and you hand them a passport and it has a 3 or 4 or 5 star and it says I'm a national. You technically cannot get a ticket. They will give you a warning. They will do stuff like this, but you do have to say specific type of terminology. I'm not saying that, don't, like I said, this is not legal advice. This is only for educational entertainment purposes only. And just because I said it doesn't mean that you can use this in the court of law to try to prove your point. I'm not saying any of that. Okay. So, and I'm just saying that for everyone, but ultimately what I'm saying is like, if you were to be pulled over for speeding, which is, we'll kind of actually, I'll show it right here. Look at this. You should never have to pay income taxes. You can carry a gun in any of the 50 states. You should not have to get tickets. You should not get tickets, but you should keep your nose clean on traffic tickets. Okay. So that's what they're saying. Okay. Do not go to court. There is nothing lawfully that they can do. Several law enforcement officials have confirmed for me and with me that when they pull someone over that is a red flag or restricted or known because they have a state citizen passport, that they have no jurisdiction to arrest them or write them a ticket because they are told to write the ticket anyways and let the court handle it. So this is where you wouldn't go to court. You do not pay the ticket. All you would do is just you have to go through a specific type of thing, which I can do that a little later, but you are really getting your rights back. Like 100%. Look, speeding, running stop signs, traveling without plates, registration are not considered threats to public safety and thus are not arrestable offenses. This is a case law, bro. It's a straight up case law. So that goes above all. And that has not been overturned or anything. So that is pretty much telling us that we, the people, are actually starting to get our rights back. Not that it's illegal when I go 5 miles an hour and I know I'm being safe. That's not your jurisdiction. I'm sorry, but I think I have a smarter mind than the police officer. Like, you know what I mean? Like, sorry, sir, you're not within my jurisdiction of private law. You're a public officer. My old tax-paying dollars pay for your stuff. So you're in my jurisdiction. I'm not in your jurisdiction, but that's kind of where the problem is. So yes, you are asserting more of your rights. You are starting to have more and more of your rights. What other questions, big dog?
Yo, that's incredible. I love that. This is such good information, man. My mind's just like opening. It's amazing.
Hell yeah. All right, so we're going to kind of move into the passport process. Now, I'm doing it right here as well. Best thing to do is to get a good pen. Okay.
Black pen.
Black pen, yes. I have most of my stuff already filed and filled out. Now, the first thing I'm going to tell you, Greg, is I want you to fill every word out with lowercase lettering. I didn't necessarily do all this, but I did get the right lettering on most of it, specifically for my name. But fill everything out with lowercase lettering. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to scroll over here. Look at this. Social Security number is voluntary. Interesting. Have you ever been told that?
No.
Exactly, bro. Okay. So we're going to go to the top of this. Notice right here at the bottom left or right, they'll say DS-11. DS-11. Okay. All right. So what we're going to do is we're going to fill out exactly what he's saying, but we're going to do it the right way. Okay. Application for U.S. passport. Now, he did put capital letters. I'm not going to. I just put your name. So do your last name, all lowercase, do your first name, and then your middle name, all lowercase. Okay. So start there and then cross out both or check both. I also click large book, non-standard, because this is going to give you a bigger book. Okay. And two, I put both because a passport card is known that you can use them in all of the 50 states or any of the things within the jurisdiction of the United States. And the passport book itself is how you can travel internationally as a national because you have the proper correction status. There's two citizenships or two governments that make up the United States. So what we're doing is we've been citizens, like domicile citizens, and now what we're doing is we're not becoming domicile. So this means that you can start to represent yourself and represent others. You're asserting your rights. Okay, so you're getting your rights back. All right. So fill out the name, fill out your date of birth, fill out your sex, fill out the place of birth. Okay. You need any help, bro?
Should the city should the city be lowercase or should it be capital?
I would do everything lowercase.
Lowercase? Wow. And wait, what was the reason too for lowercase?
So anything uppercase is considered like a corporation or connected to the corporation.
Whoa.
And so your name is also a corporation. That's what the birth certificate is the birth certificate's a bond of, like, let's say it's $400 billion, because since you were born, they've been amplifying and monetizing your work. So they've been making money on the back end because of you have indentured yourself to servitude or slavery as a 14th Amendment citizen, and then you pay taxes for the work that they give you. And that's why you pay taxes, is because you're within their thing. So generally, when you do this, when you stand out, the way that you could do this to get a job is, instead of filing a W-2, you just file a W-8-BEN. It's the same thing. And then there's so many people who do this. So this is a very easy way for you to not pay taxes and not be, and the thing is you don't want to do this unless you already are set, that's what we're doing. Like, you know what I'm saying? And, I mean, dude, imagine getting another $100 or $200 back on all of your money every week or bi-weekly.
Shit.
You know what I'm saying? Like, and that's already your money. Instead of you giving it to the federal government, instead of you giving it to Medicare, instead of you giving it to any of these other different types of things, you know. And this is just one small thing. This is just a very easy thing for you. Okay, so the way I filled it: lowercase first name, lowercase middle name, lowercase last name. All right. Date of birth, sex, place of birth. Okay. And then in mailing, your mailing address. What do you want to do? You want to do in care of : and then do where you currently live. Okay. And then address 2 is for, apartment. I would also put in care of, and then apartment, in care of. So it's right on the far right, in care of dash. Okay. And then you can put your name, apartment, number, blank. Or if you live at home, just put in care of this place. That's it.
I write that in care.
In care of, yeah. If you don't, okay, so we know that the government owns all the properties and everything like that. But when you say in care of, you're saying, I'm not a resident. I'm just in care of it. So there's a specific type of terminology that you have to give to put them on notice to say, like, I'm private. I'm not public. Like, you guys keep thinking that, or you guys will try to, slyly use your trickery, etc. Okay. That a lot of times like that. Then 2 is the way I've learned it. It's a little different. Is you put city, you put the state, and then you put the zip code, and then the zip code on the far right. So you're going to put I want you to kind of look at this. You're going to put brackets, a bracket right here, and you're going to put a bracket right here. And brackets refer to that, because zip codes are also connected to publicity and stuff. So when you put it in brackets, anything in a box when it's filed it ceases. So that it pretty much tells the algorithm you're private. Okay. And then for country, it says if outside the United States, not the United States of America. So what you're going to put down as a country is you're going to put America. America.
In lowercase.
Yep. Yep. Okay. And then birth name, maiden name, previous marriage name, legal name change, attach additional pages if needed. List all other names if you use this. So this is for the people. I'm going to tell you this. I don't know if Greg's going to change his name or whatever, but ultimately, if you guys are trying to change your name, there is a private way to create an affidavit of name change, or a common law name change is what it's known as. And ultimately, if you do this, you can create your own documentation, an affidavit of a common law name change. So say, like, I'm not going to go by my first and middle name. I go by TC. That's what I'm, TC, the spiritual shepherd, y'all know. And so say I go by TC. Okay. So then that's just initials, but I can do that basically if common law is 7 years. So that means if I go by it for 7 years, then that is my name. That is my common known name to most people commonly. So in common in the commons, like when we're all around, just like in speaking in community, common community, all this type of stuff, it's all connected. So if you want to do a legal name change, you could do the affidavit or the common law name change, and then that's where you put your name down as that name. Okay. 2 is, this is a very important. So this is where you stop. So don't fill out any of this stuff. Do not fill out any of this stuff until what? Do not sign application until requested to do so by an authorized agent. If you do so, they'll probably deny you. Also, right here, do not underline non-citizen national. Do not underline non-citizen national. They will deny you. Now, without prejudice, when? Before you sign. So it's a part of your signature. I've also heard that you don't have to necessarily put this. You don't necessarily have to put without prejudice. I would still put UCC 1-308, formerly 1-207. But ultimately, I still would put it. You could also put without prejudice or without recourse. What does that mean? That means I'm reserving all my rights. By me signing this, I'm not signing over my life or my soul to this person. All I'm saying is I'm signing this because this is what I declare as truth, and they don't have my rights. I'm just saying that this. So that's what it is. A lot of people with these types of things, they'll try to take your rights. I mean, that's what happened the first time, right? So right before you sign, you'll leave this blank. You'll leave this blank. And then right as you're signing, which is going to be in front of a public officer, someone who's going to notarize this, or a public agent known as like you're going to go to the post office. So when you drop this off at the post office, you're going to write without prejudice right in front of them. And there's cameras all in there, so they'll see you write it. And then you're going to write your signature. Okay?
This is crazy.
So this is the most important part now. So this is the most important part. So this is kind of where I was a little bit caught up a bit. And I'm figuring this out a bit. But ultimately, this is where you kind of refer to other creators as well. So you're going to fill out the name of the applicant. You're going to do it the same way. So you're going to do last name, first name, middle name, and do that all lowercase. You're going to do the date of birth. Okay. Now you're going to do your parents. Okay. And it's very important that on your parents, you check off that they're not U.S. citizens. And people are like, why? Because they are never U.S. citizens. They're just under the consensual contract. They technically aren't. They can't be. They're just under the wrongful contract. So they still aren't. They just think they are. So that's the main thing. So the main thing of what I do is I write my dad's name. Okay. I write his date of birth. I write his place of birth. Okay. I write his sex. I say no to U.S. citizen. This is a trick. This is a trick. Okay, this is a trick. They don't put state citizen. All they say is U.S. citizen, yes or no, because they want to trick you. They want to trick you because if you click yes, they're referring to United States as in United States Corporation. That's why you say no. You're not a citizen. You're a national. Okay, then you're going to do your mom. And you're going to fill out all that stuff. You're going to fill out her place of birth, all this type of stuff. And what I actually wrote was, so I'll give for an example, Los Angeles, comma, California, comma, America. Not United States. So Los Angeles, comma, California, comma, America. Because it says place of birth. So if you look at actually like on the thing, it says place of birth, city and state, if in the US, or city and country. So I did city, state, country. Okay. Makes it very easy for them to see. Okay. Now you're going to do the same thing. You're going to click on female for your mom and no to US citizen. Then have you ever been married? No. This is also a trick because there's another bond note or something out there. Okay. Stuff like that. So no to that. Then you don't have to fill out any of the full spouse or anything. Then still click. It's right here is referring to you. Could be them. But ultimately, I would click no again. Click no to U.S. citizen. Have you ever been widowed or divorced? Click no. No. Okay. Now, I'm actually going to operate into private marriage. So I'm going to show you guys that briefly.
That is so dope.
I'm going to present one more. I'm going to remove this just for a sec. Move this to the side. Share screen. Entire screen. And then I'm going to go here. So now you guys can go. This is his next process that he's going to have to go through. And yes, I know it's $750, but trust me, it's worth not having the headaches. Trust me, Greg. It's worth not having the headaches. I promise, bro. Look at all this filing that you don't have to do. And they do this every time. They do it all the time. The only thing that you really need to do is get a birth certificate level, a state level birth certificate, which has a 9/ or 11 digit number on the back. We'll talk about that a little later because I'm talking about marriage. So forms, sovereign marriage. Okay, and I'm not referring to sovereign citizen. They're just saying sovereign because you're in your own jurisdiction. That's what they're referring to. Okay, so now this is what we known as. So this is something I'm going to do, and this is just a specific thing. So I'm just going to make my own ultimately and put the public on notice. But what you'll do is you'll click this, a download form. Now, can you see this form? Mm-hmm. So this is known as a sovereign marriage form. This is the way to protect yourself. So notice this right here. This is a disclaimer. Please note that at least one party has to have at least secured party creditor status and an open public record to file these documents into. It is not required that both parties do so, but if so, they can be filed into record on both sides. So that means if your girl's a secured party creditor as well, then she can file it and you can file it. Okay. Now, this is a very important thing because this is the way that God wants you to do it. Okay. It's not about getting the government involved. This is keeping it private. So this is a private form of marriage. It's claiming it. It's saying like, this is my woman, this is my wife, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. See what I'm saying? So I want you guys to know that, and then you'll fill out these different types of things. It's very easy. Okay. Very, very, very easy. All right. That's the way that I'm going to do it. I might actually do a little bit of both. So I might do the public side and then do the private side. And I know that because of me and being a secured party, it's not going to affect me or Kaylee. But ultimately, yes. Now we're back here. Okay, so check off no. So it does tell you check off no. Now, one thing about occupation, I hope you didn't fill out occupation yet. Because occupation is low-key interesting. I've heard that if you fill it out, I'm not saying this is for everyone, but if you fill it out, like I work as this or whatever, they'll think, okay, well, they're immediately a public United States citizen. They'll try to catch you right back into that. Okay. And so a lot of times you want to put like, investor. So I'm probably going to put investor because investor is very broad and it is still tailored to me. And two, like they don't need to know what I invest in. They don't need to know what I do, stuff like this. And then two, some people put like welder or stuff like this, and they have the company or they own the company, or it's a very basic type of thing. So that's what I'm going to put is I'm going to put investor. Write it down right now. Employer or school. I would leave this blank. It does say if applicable. Okay, then I would put your height. I would put your hair color, and two, I would make sure that this is lit. Now, travel plans, leave that open for now. We're gonna get to that. So I gotta do the math. All right. So I'm going to put 70. Hair color, brown. Eye color. Okay, travel plans. If no travel plans, please write none. Now, you're not going to write none. You are going to put countries to be visited. Why? That's a great question. Are you asking this kind of question right now too, bro?
Yeah.
You're like, I don't have no plans to travel for right now or whatever.
Yeah.
The reason why is because when you have travel plans, it expedites the passport to be delivered to you. And when that passport's in your hands, that's your rights. Now, if you put no travel plans, they're like, who fucking cares? If he has a passport, and make sure the country is to be outside, so you make sure that you get your large book quicker. So that's the main reason. And then two, they'll be like, do you have proof of this? You'll and then at that point, it's already filed, and you could say, I ended up just canceling my trip. Very easy. That was the way I learned. So the way I'm going to put it, I just feel like I'm supposed to put Bali. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, right.
So what you're going to do is you want to put it. So yeah, exactly. 12/20, 2016 to 1/16. So he probably wants it as soon as possible. So when he's filing, what's the date? Let's see what date he's filing. I wonder if he put the date on there. But regardless, like it's probably close to his date. And so I would say like 5 to 6 weeks, bro, like nothing more than 5 to 6 weeks. So like whatever, I would say maybe 8 weeks max, like whenever you want your thing, that's when I would say that your thing is like maybe 8 weeks out. So it has to hit at like 6 weeks. So what you want to do is so you'll go to the calendar. I know it's a little extra work, but this is super important. Like this is low-key super important. So let's say that, oh, this is great. I could put like November 11th. So it's October 1st. This means if you're going to go file tomorrow, if you're going to take it to the post office and sign tomorrow, you could literally probably put like November 11th, because that's like 5 or 6 weeks out. That's probably a little early. So maybe I would say like for Thanksgiving. So you do like Thanksgiving to Christmas, and that would actually look really accurate, bro. It looked really, really accurate. And so if you're like, you'll take the Thursday, so you'd say I traveled the day before, so they'll know November 25th or November 26th, somewhere in there. and then you would have your end date be December 31st or January 2nd. It's like right after those days. So it's like people really do travel a lot during those times. And you will probably get your passport, let's say like the 15th or the 17th. And then once you get that passport, you know what I'm saying? Your plans are canceled. So really, really easy. All right. So that's the way I'm gonna put it. I'm thinking I'm going to put like I'm gonna do like a special date. So 2025. So that's 9. Dang, November 9th would be dope. November 9th. Because no means nueve, which means 9. Sept means scepter, 7. Oct means octagon, which means 8. Dec means decagon, which means 10. It's not the 12th or the 11th or the 10th month. That's super interesting. I'll do December 12th. So departure date, it'll be 12-12-2025. My return date will be January 11th. One 11 2026. That's what I'm going to put. You could put what you want. You could pick a day. It's not like too crazy. It's just, and then 2 countries to be visited.
Yeah. No, I'm still on. It's still recording.
Oh, it is?
Yeah.
It looks like it's all slow to me. So I put, where are you at right now?
So I'm right beneath the marriage. So I leave everything blank with the marriage and stuff like that. Still filling out my parents' information. I gotta get that and get all their middle names and their date of births. Yeah, I think
What
so.
country did you pick? What dates did you pick? Or have you not done the travel plans yet?
Not yet.
Okay. Sorry to overcomplicate this if I am.
Nah, you're good. This is amazing. It's amazing.
Yeah, it's I like it, bro. Two, like when you put an employer, so an employer kind of subdues you a lot of times, and so what you kind of want to put something that like your occupation, you want to put something that is like assertive. You know, like I'm an investor, I'm an owner, or I'm a, something like that. Damn, my shit is just like fucking slow. I've never seen it this slow, bro. I can't even fucking like do nothing. What the hell, dude? This is what I'm saying, dude. It's like, come on, like I'm literally recording some dope ass shit, and then it just like does this, like.
Yeah, right? The fuck?
Is it? Can you still hear me?
Yeah.
On.
No, not on the thing, but it's still recording though. So wait, occupation you put investor and then employer or school.
Yeah, I'm still looking at where I want to put what I want to put in employer school for now. So I just get that. I'm gonna go over it probably one or two more times and make sure. Just because I would rather do it right and do it slower than mess up and then like have to scribble some shit out and do it all over again.
Right.
Just because it's so like technical at times. The cool thing is once we fill this out, we don't have to fill it out again. I'm gonna do my emergency contacts. Damn, my shit's just frozen, bro.
Still?
Dude, my thing's literally just frozen.
Fuck.
I'm gonna have to turn my computer off, bro. I've never had that happen before.
Fuck.
Wild.
Some powerful shit though.
It's pretty lit, dude. I mean, too, once you're done with it, it's like, and once you have your passport, so lit.
Wow.
So just lit. It's gonna have to reboot this whole thing. I just hope it recorded to the cloud. why I did that. Like, that's crazy. Alright, countries to be visited.
Should I leave the video though?
Yeah, I would.
Okay, y'all. I apologize. I apologize if it kind of cut out a little bit there. It's all good. We will make it work. Ultimately, we are set. It's probably because I have a lot of tabs open. I apologize about that. Now I have no tabs open because I had to reset my entire computer. So we'll go to, I'll just do it this way. And if it cuts out again, I'll just open a new tab. Open link, a new tab. There we go. All right. So we'll just go right back to it. Let's get right back to it. All right. So rule-free delivery means that you do not live in a USDC or any fictional area or with a fictitious, like a fictitious residence. Okay, you could do all zeros. I've heard don't do all zeros. I've also heard do all zeros. So we know that people are obviously confusing. I've also heard that if you do put your all zeros, they'll deny you. So what I would do is I'd put the zip code and then I put brackets around the zip code. So and then two, like with your emergency contact, you could just file it how it is. Okay, it really doesn't matter.
I have to write the rule free delivery.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so then I wrote that. Two, there's also another one too where you could say, have you ever applied or been issued a U.S. passport book or passport card? You could put no, specifically you've never done it, but also you could put no, and the reason why is because it might be connected to your U.S. citizenship. That's the main thing. That's the main thing. So I would put no. Me, I do have an old one, but I was a child when I had this, and it just doesn't matter. But ultimately, I'm going to keep that blank. And then the reason why I also do no, so then you don't have to fill out a lost passport thing and file that too, and just all that. It's just extra. But I do have those forms, the immediate forms. So that's the main thing. Two, if you guys have passport documents, I would say make documentation or duplicates of what you have. Now this part right here at the bottom, where it has your face, you want to take a good picture with good lighting, at least within the last 6 months. You want to be clean shaven. You want to look good. You want to look fresh, because this is going to be the pic that goes on your passport. You're going to want to look clean on your passport. So then when they see you, you look immaculate, you look fresh. So that's the main thing. Like, you want to look clean. You want to be dressed up. You want to look, because think about it. Like, even if you look like a bum when you deliver the passport and you give the passport to someone, or you show someone the passport, at least you look fresh in your picture. And that makes you, that literally we know from image consultants. That's why image consultants make so much money. Is that we know that by the way we dress, by the way we present ourselves, we're billboards. So you want to do it right after you get out of the gym and you feel a little buff, or you feel like you're feeling yourself, like you want to, you know what I'm saying? So that's the main thing. And then you want to make sure that it's a 2x2, and then you can figure that out. But you're not going to fill out any of that stuff unless you are in front of them. Okay, so there was one thing that I did not tell Greg to fill out, and this is going to be really important. So we're going to go back up to the top. You're going to go to the first page. Notice the estimated burden. It says 85 minutes. Burden. Why would they put the word burden there? It's just time. Because time is a burden, low-key, bro.
Yeah.
We are instantaneous beings. Okay, so right here where it says end dot number, that stands for endorsement numbers. So what we're going to do, we're going to look up endorsement numbers. Passport. Meaning. All right, y'all, we're going to do it. What are passport endorsement numbers? All numbers. All right, right here. We're going to go to the U.S. Department of State. Boom. So this is the government telling you. It says fam.government. Okay, right there. All right. Endorsement, which means end dot number. Okay. Endorsement passports indicate. This is how you're endorsing it. Okay. Number one, they are valid only for a specific period of time. Number two, the passport was issued under particular circumstances only. Number 3, the bearer has a certain status and or 4, there is some other relevant information about the bearer of the passport. Okay, this is A. Okay, we're going to go all the way down to the one that I'm talking about, which is 9. Endorsement number 9. I had to find this. Endorsement number 09. Oh. 9 series. 9 all. It's called endorsement 9 all if you see it. I went way past it. Okay. It's gonna be right here. Boom. Endorsement 9 all. This is you right here, brother. Right here. All right. So now that we're here, endorsement 09. So the endorsement number that you're going to put on there, you're going to put 09. Most people think that this is for the passport agent. No, you can put it on there. Endorsement 09. So what does this mean? The bearer, so this is what it says. All, so endorsement 09 means for all types of passports, not just for a citizen or not just for a national, but it's for anybody. Okay. This means the bearer. So you are the bearer. You hold this. You're the holder in due course. So the bearer, okay, is a United States national and not a United States citizen. So this is saying by law that when you get this passport, you are what we call placed in a passport book issued to a non-citizen U.S. national. U.S. national will be printed instead of USA on the front of the passport card. So this helps inform on the card. Okay, so the card is what you would just give to as like a license. You would give that to like a police officer. Now, number C, prior to the creation of this endorsement in 1992, the bearer's status as a non-citizen U.S. national was indicated by circling the word national, or crossing out the word citizen in the secretary's message of the signature page of the U.S. passport. Now, I'm going to explain this to you guys because you guys were like, what does that mean? So I'm going to have to go back over. Okay, so there's this thing right at the top. Now, you guys might not be able to see this, but I circled different words. Circled different words. You see that? Mm-hmm. And what did I circle? It's in 3 different languages. Okay, so what I'm doing is here. I'll do it one more time. Here, I'll just do it this way. That's it. So you'll see it's all circled, etc. You'll be able to see those. And I'm circling the word national and or crossing out the word citizen. And the way that I do this is once I have this passport, this is how I was recognized as a national. Okay, now I would do the same thing. Now they don't really do that, but I kept this. And the reason I'm keeping this is because then when I send this back or I put this as evidence and I'm keeping it in my possession and I have it, then I will always be recognized as an American national. Okay, that's the main thing. All right, let's keep going. So that's the secretary's message. So what does the message say? The Secretary of State, the Secretary of the United States of America. So I'll circle America because I'm an American. Hereby requests all whom it may concern to permit the citizen national. So this proves that there is such thing as a national for the people who are like conspiracy theorists. Okay. But ultimately I would circle national and then I would do the same thing in French and I would do the same thing in Spanish. So I'll circle American national 3 times. And that is, and then I would sign at the bottom where it says signature of bearer right there, bearer. So the bearer right here, see it says bearer. The bearer is a United States national and not a United States citizen. So the signature of bearer, also known as due titular or the title, the firm title of the being. And so I would sign as a beneficiary. So I would sign my first name dash my middle name colon and then my last name. Or I would do of the last name family. So that it's very easy. And this is just signing a beneficiary way. Okay. So, and that's super important. So the only thing that you really need to do is just put 09 in that on that line where it says endorsement number. All right. So that is, what other questions do you have? And then I can kind of conclude this video. But yeah, I would put rule free.
So
yeah.
That's when you get your passport, you end up writing that out, and it has to be in red pen.
That's actually very interesting. Great question, bro. I did red pen. I do red pen because it represents blood, low key. But also this is an older passport, so they actually don't have these Secretary of State things anymore. So they don't have a lot of the writing at the top like they used to. And so that's why we do the endorsement number 09, and then you'll actually have a different face picture on the front. So so it is putting you, it's putting the people on notice that you genuinely are a national, a United States American national.
That's crazy.
So yeah, let me all right. What other questions? I got a couple minutes and then I'm probably gonna leave, but I know you got a couple, or are you done? Have you finished? Where are you at?
Right now,
I don't want to leave you like 80% done.
6 and 7.
Okay.
Yeah, because I have to add my social security, right?
Yeah. Email,
Okay.
You don't even really need to add an email or
no email.
phone number. You could put your phone number, but a lot of times phone numbers are like seen as public, email is seen as public. I might just send you a video on that, low key. And I'll also put a video connected to this. Social Security, you are going to have to write that down, which is totally fine. That's totally okay. I just don't do that until I like pretty much get there, because I'm not trying to have it on the form until I write it, So you can leave 5 blank really quick until like right before you go and take this and you take it to a passport staff agent. Number 6, you can do your email if you want. I would do email over phone number, and then but I would say too that I'll send you a video on emails and phone numbers. Should I write a phone number or not? I would check out Bad Wolf Unincorporated on YouTube, and I'll send you a couple videos with that. And then too, like let's say that you don't mail this tomorrow. Like let's say that we both mail this at like this pretty much the same time though, like within the week. And if we get these 1 or 2 answers, that's where I was getting at, is like I know that there's like an easy way to do this. 2, you can even put a bullshit ass email. Like you can put you know what I mean? Like, so you can always do something like that, or the way that he did it. So he did freeman@an.com. So, and then primary number, I don't know if he actually did 777, like I don't know if he did all that or if he actually put it. So that's where I'm like, I want to make sure, but I have heard add your social security number. I have heard that. Some people are back and forth. I don't think at this point, you've already said no to citizen, like they're going to give you the national passport. So I don't think that like the email or the phone number is really going to like affect you too hard, because of everything else is just so perfect. As a national, do I put phone number and email on DS-11? See, but this is also to contact you more quickly to resolve any applications. What are the most biggest common mistakes? Typos, errors, misspelled names. What to submit? A completed but unsigned DS-11 document, proof of via citizenship, like a birth certificate or a previous passport. So a valid. So that's a big thing too. So say like I give them a copy of my old passport. I'm not going to give them my actual passport, but I'll give them a copy of my old passport, and that would be like, and it has a circle national, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. That would kind of help me. I would say do your phone number and do your email low key. Let me go to like YouTube. YouTube. And then I do DS-11. So I would search this dude up too. Search this guy up. And watch a lot of his stuff, maybe all day today. You know, just different types of things. DS-11, watch what you can. Bad Wolf Unincorporated. Watch him on like 1.25, speed up his stuff a little bit. You can even say like, let's phone number. So I would say go to him. See, and then he also says, look, 09 all endorsement code. So he says, do the 09 all. You're going to get your passport card. It says traveler USA or United States national. Okay, two, this is also connected to the endorsement. So you can kind of go through some of these things. And then two, you're going to also fill out like an explanatory statement, acts of conditions as a national. So you can do different things like this. It's not as difficult as it sounds. See, and then two, how do I fill out the IRS W-8-BEN to be tax exempt? So once you get your passport, you can file the W-8-BEN, which is one piece of paper that pretty much saves you like tens of thousands of dollars every year in taxes.
Wow.
So I gotta go, but text me and we'll stay up to date on this. And send me literally any of your texts. Send me any of your questions, and we'll follow up.
Okay. Thank you.
All right, big dog.
Appreciate you.
Yeah, 100, bro. Check out Bad Wolf Unincorporated. So check him out. He's definitely the main thing for passports, and you can get probably all your answers on that. And then just make sure too that it's interconnected to like I've done this process enough. I've seen this process enough to where like I've heard some people do emails, some people don't, some people do phone numbers, some people don't. So definitely listen to Bad Wolf Unincorporated. He'll kind of give you a little bit more stuff on the DS-11.
Okay.
All right, big dog. I'll catch you sometime this week.
All right, man. Appreciate you, man. Thank you.
Of course, dude. Of course.